99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. Tristan, 98 bottles of beer on the wall.
Sister Corissa, that is the 1,000th time you've done this. You just have like a program that runs it for you?
No, it is just one of the easier songs to sing as a computer.
So you're telling me you're typing in there with your little micro movements with your hand, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. You're doing all that work for what? Your monotone.
It does not sound as beautiful as it might have in the olden days.
You telling me you had a good voice?
I would like to think so.
You know, it's hard for me to ever think that you were like a person, because right now to me you're basically a cyborg.
Well, to be fair, Tristan, you never met me as a woman.
Well, I mean,
I still am
I
a
thought
woman,
you still were.
but
I mean, I saw the biological components of you, but frankly, I don't trust fully anything that isn't human, and I don't trust computers. So, yeah.
Tristan, feel the hard component under my shirt, where my heart would be if it was still beating, and tell me the whirring engine does not remind you of the heartbeat.
Let me feel it. This isn't a ploy for me to feel your tit, is it?
No, it is just to show you that I am still human despite my disability.
Oh my god, what's this runoff? Diesel?
Yes.
Oh, let me turn up the revs here.
Oh, Tristan. If you use too much diesel, I will not have enough to get through the rest of our banishment here.
So you're telling me you only have a finite amount of gas and you came to an island where there's no gas sources?
There was really no other choice, Tristan.
How are we gonna fill you up? How do I check your gas tank?
They didn't quite tell me that at the hospital. Sister No didn't really get the best of doctors when she was looking.
I mean, she must have got some good ones. You're a fucking cyborg. I've never seen a cyborg. I've never seen a human that ran off a diesel.
Well, do you remember Cyborg from Teen Titans?
The black one?
Yes, the black one. He could stand up and walk around. Clearly he had better doctors than me.
I mean, you're right, but I think you're pretty, you don't even have a heart.
Well, it's in there. It is just running with a wheel inside it, like a hamster, and the wheel is powered by diesel.
I'm sure you're happy to be on Goat Island with the gas prices fucking soaring up the roof.
I am hoping that maybe the goats will know some sort of alternate fuel system.
Sister Corissa, what is that?
What do you see?
That's a BP.
A BP?
That looks like a BP in the distance.
The gas station?
British Petroleum, Sister Corissa. I'm telling you, look over there. Oh, wait. Let me move you.
I think it is a mirage, Tristan.
There's no mirages here. Here, I'm gonna hop on. I'm turning up the revs.
Oh, Tristan. You are going to give me a heart attack.
Hold on, let me put on the radio.
Oh my god, it really is a BP station.
Where's the diesel sign, though?
Excuse me, goat attendant. Do you sell diesel fuel?
What?
Diesel fuel?
What?
Diesel fuel?
Do we sell diesel?
Diesel fuel.
We sell unleaded and corn fuel.
Corn? Will that supplement for diesel?
Yes.
He don't sound too sure of himself.
Well, it's either put corn fuel in me, or I die.
Oh, yeah, half a tank. I don't think you're gonna die anytime soon. I mean, is there any place around here you think that has diesel?
PSSH, I've never been to Goat Island. How would I know?
The closest diesel is on the other side of Goat, India.
The other side? Well, we're headed. No.
Where are you headed?
We are trying to get to Goat Island. The center of it. Was it something I said?
Oh my god, get down. Where is he? No, not in here. DG, where are you? Oh my god, where is he? Hello? GG!
What's up, dude? What's going on?
Okay,
What's going on?
listen. I just got a call from the gas station attendant, and he is down there stalling right now. Guess what? Tristan and sister Corissa. They're on there right here, right now.
No way.
I swear to God, he just called me.
We gotta arm the forces, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, the good thing is, the gas station attendant, he told them to put corn fuel in for diesel. She's going to be ruined. They're not going to be able to get here anytime soon.
Awesome. Dude, that was such a good idea, you putting them on the payroll.
I know. It was, we definitely needed it to get the trucks back and forth to go to India. I mean, really.
I'm gonna be totally real with you, dude. I thought I thought you were going way overboard with this whole thing, but like, after I saw, all of you guys getting, fucked mercilessly.
Yes, it was awful, DG, and you're so lucky that you got out of it.
Oh, dude, it's a fucking blessing every day. I don't like anybody touching my butt.
I know you wouldn't even let the doctor give you an exam. I mean, he did while you were asleep, but...
yeah, he did. But that wasn't under my consent, and I'm still gonna sue him for medical malpractice for that.
I think you have a case, really.
That's what everybody's telling me, is that I have a case. Like, I told him last time I saw him, I'm gonna find a lawyer and I'm gonna sue you, and you're gonna be done. I'm gonna take away your medical license.
I think you should. I mean, I told my cousin when she died of a very natural causes about not taking care of her kidney while she was in renal failure. She was not even supposed to, she should never have been alive in the first place with the bad renal failure she was in. And I told her when she died of very normal causes related to that, I'm going to sue your doctor.
Hold on, you're telling me she died of natural causes, but you still wanted to sue her doctor?
Oh, it's natural, man. Yeah, I mean, if they can't keep, isn't that what a doctor's supposed to do? Keep people alive?
No, they're supposed to keep you alive, and they're supposed to, like, do everything they're supposed to keep you alive even if you refuse their care.
Yeah, right.
That's the point. I mean, they have alternative medicine.
She didn't have a DNR or anything like that. She wanted to live, really. I mean, every night she went to bed and said, see you in the morning, I hope, because she was so afraid to die. So trust me, she wanted to live.
Oh, that's horrible, dude. Did you end up suing?
Yeah, and we lost.
Oh.
Nothing you can do when they're in renal failure.
That's the corrupt system, dude. That's the corrupt system. Here, give me hooves real quick.
Nux on that one, brother. Hey, you have your bounty hunter's license, right?
Yeah, of course I do.
That's what I thought. Let's, bust up in the ATV, the GOAT ATV, and pick up these bastards.
Alright, let me put on my helmet.
This corn fuel is hurting my organs.
Oh my god. Sister Corissa, hang with me. Why did you tell us we could put corn fuel in a diesel engine?
It is so sticky. My heart is not beating as fast.
She's fucking flatlining. Hold on, I'm gonna try to use this lawnmower.
You are RGG.
I'm gonna pull your strings, I'm gonna keep you alive.
Tristan. Oh, thank you, Tristan. Whoa.
There they are! Look! They're threatening the gas station attendant with a lawnmower! Get him, DG! Use the tranquilizer!
Oh, fuck. I've been shot.
Oh my god, Sister Corissa, what the fuck was that?
Oh, no. Look out, Tristan.
Oh, that feels good.
Are you alright? Gas station? What's your name, by the way?
What?
What's your name? Are you alright?
My name's Bill.
Bill.
We've met 10 times, Clark.
I know, but it's, when you run a business as big as Capital Cheese, it's really hard to keep track of these people, especially when you work off-site like you do, but did they try to do anything bad? Like, are you alright?
They were pretty ticked off when I put corn fuel in it. Is she gonna be okay?
Not exactly sure, but, luckily there's some diesel fuel back at the, we got a shipment of diesel jeans in.
Aw, dude, diesel jeans.
Yeah, the reason they are called that is because they come soaked in diesel, so if we wring out some of the diesel jeans, we can, clean her out and see what they were doing.
Dude, those are my diesel jeans. Why are you gonna soak them out?
Well, we can take some of the pairs of jeans and soak the diesel out of them.
Yeah, but like there's no like we who ordered the diesel jeans. I ordered the diesel jeans.
So the shipment of diesel jeans, the pallet of thousands of diesel jeans that got shipped in, that's what you ordered, that?
No, I mean the pallet's not just diesel jeans. It's diesel, Adderall, glasses of whiskey. and diesel jeans.
Oh, I see. Is it some sort of shower time ritual?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I mean, you can't... Okay, so listen, I know you can't stand
I bought it with my Survivor money, dude. Like, it's not...
I know it's not... Listen, okay, DG, how about this? Capital Cheese is in a position to buy 3 or 4 pairs of the diesel jeans. How much would you sell them for? In fact, we don't even want the jeans. We just want the diesel. We'll soak the diesel out. You keep the jeans.
I mean, I'd have to do an acid wash on them to get the diesel off, and at that point, I'd had acid wash jeans, so I wouldn't even want them, so you could have those too. Do you want a pair of acid wash jeans? I could give you an acid wash jeans and diesel combo.
So you'll give me the acid wash jeans, and then separately, the diesel that was wrung out of the acid wash jeans?
Yeah, I do it for like $79.99 a pair.
Okay, so, yeah, okay, I think Capital Cheese will definitely do that. Let's shake on it.
No, hold on. No, you'll definitely do it $150.
Hey, whoa. Bill, did you see that? You heard him say $79.99, right?
All is fair in business.
Is this because I forgot your name? I remembered it now, Bill. Come on, Bill.
The CEO of my company remembers my name. That's all I have to say about that.
So, that's what, is it $79.99, right?
Dude, you run an entire cheese firm, you can give me $150 per jean. So if that's 4 pairs, what's that, $600 to give it?
Okay, but DG, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Especially since Tristan left. I mean, we've gone on more trips together and traveled the world together. You're really going to nickel and dime me over some jeans?
I'm not nickel and diming. I just, I paid good money for them.
Whatever. $600. And you know what, Bill? Fuck you. You're fired. Should've stood up better for me.
You can't fire me, Clark.
Did you just hear what he had said?
Yeah, I think he said you can't fire him.
I don't know why he would say that. Bill...
I'm gonna dart him.
Thank you, Tristan. Let's get these people down to the jail.
Why are you still calling me Tristan, dude?
Oh, shit. Sorry, DG.
That's why I'm not giving you it at the $79.99 price I originally said.
Alright, I understand. Sorry, DG. Let's get these guys down to the jail.
Here, you throw them on my back and then pick them up and put them on the ATV.
Alright. Okay, and this one's not as heavy. And Bill, well, we don't need to put Bill in.
Just leave him here, dude. He'll wake up in a few hours.
You know, to, put our balls on him?
Like teabag him?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get a picture of mine and yours at the same time.
Yes, let's do it. Okay.
Here. You just gotta press the volume up button. Don't bother with that button.
Okay. Here we go.
No, you have the wrong button, dude.
Sorry, I locked it. Here, you have to put your passcode in. Alright, okay, now put your balls, I'll put my balls on, all the rest of my balls on his right eye, and you put your balls in his left eye.
Oh, let's cover him up.
Hey, DG, your penis.
Oh, hold on, sorry, dude. Hangs to the right sometimes.
That's alright, I mean, it just, it touched the tip of my penis, I wasn't, expecting that.
I'm not denying it didn't feel a little good.
You never felt what the grid did to us, and on some level, kind of felt good.
What are you talking about, dude? You cried for a month straight.
Well, I'm a lot smaller than him, DG, and I don't know, I mean, the tips of our dicks touched, and it felt good, and I'm just...
Nah, dude, it ain't like that. Just because it felt good don't mean, it's that kind of thing, dude. You got Beverly.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take this picture and forget that our penises ever touched.
Yeah.
And that I said what I said.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that's a good picture. Okay, come on.
Why have you chained me up?
Because you're a bad dude.
Sister Corissa, we've told you again and again. Tristan already told us everything. If you want to get off scot-free... You're going to have to tell us what you were really doing here.
I am telling you, we are coming in peace. Also, I know that Tristan has not said anything. He is passed out in the corner.
Oh shit. Fuck. DG, I told you to keep him in the other cell.
No, you didn't, dude. You told me to throw him in here.
Well, how are we supposed to do good cop, bad cop, and pit them against each other if they know that they're in the same...
How we're supposed to do it now, right, when Well, she doesn't I don't think she really knows much.
I am fully cognizant of what is going on and am aware of what you are doing right now.
Do you hear something, Clark?
Honestly, part of what I do to accept people with disabilities is I don't even look at them.
I don't either. It makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it's not that it makes me uncomfortable. It's like when I walk down the street, I don't look at anybody. So if I'm looking at the disabled person, that's making them feel different.
Well, right now, dude, I'm looking her right in the eye, and she has a glassy look, and it's really tripping me out. I don't think there's any sort of love or anything behind those eyes.
There is definitely no love behind these eyes right now because I am angry and full of corn fuel.
We got as much of it out as we could, Sister Corissa. Honestly, I don't know what you expect. You're the enemy. We put enough diesel fuel in you to get you running again, and now we just want to know why the fuck you and Tristan are coming here after a month. After being raped in the ass, why are you coming here now?
You will have to wait until Tristan wakes up if you don't believe me.
Wake his ass up, DG. You got any smelling salts?
What?
Smelling salt?
To wake him up?
Yeah, or can you, kick him?
Yeah, here.
Oh.
Tristan?
Clock? DG, what the fuck are you doing here?
Tristan?
Where the fuck am I?
You are tied up. You're in jail in Goat Island, okay?
Why the fuck am I... Oh, I made it to Goat Island, thank God.
It is not a relaxing place. They think we are enemies still.
No.
Yes.
No. Clock, what are you doing to me? I'm your best friend.
Tristan, where have you been for the last month? With the enemy.
I've been
you
with
stayed...
Sister No. I'm sorry.
Exactly, and you think you can just walk back in here and...
She mind controlled me.
And she's mind controlling you now into liking Sister Corissa and bringing her here too.
Sister Corissa, she mind controlled her too. Sister Carissa's a sweetheart. Tell him, sis.
She tricked me into everything and then kicked us off the island after she had Big Red. We are completely converted.
How am I supposed to believe that? Especially from you, Tristan. You broke up with Shelly Ann and all of us in front of everybody. And
I don't regret doing that.
See?
I can't believe you would take her side in this.
You saw what Big Red did to us. Why don't you think he didn't do that to her?
I mean, he did. She just didn't tell me about it.
Oh my God, Tristan. Shelly Ann is a whole other subject. She, as soon as we got back here, she went right back to Goat India. Haven't seen her since. She's eat, praying, and loving again.
Of course she did. The fucking cringe-ass eat, pray, love shit. I'm done with it, Clark. I'm done with it.
Because listen, DG, you know how much Tristan loves Shelly Ann. Right here, this is how you know.
Dude, I've never seen a love like it.
He is under mind control right now.
Clark, I'm not under fucking mind control.
He is heartbroken.
I'm heartbroken.
Listen, I guess I understand, Tristan, but why now? Why now you come back after a whole month of this betrayal?
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, we can guarantee he tells the truth if we put him full of truth serum.
DG, you never told me you guys had truth serum.
Yeah, we got truth serum here.
Where did you get it?
From the doctor.
Oh, Dr. Xavier. Okay, well, if Dr. Xavier gave it, then I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, I'll take some truth serum.
You'll take the truth serum, Tristan?
I'll do it. I'll just tell you the truth right now. Listen, I spent a month with her. I thought it was kind of cool at first, but they're kind of evil. They're kind of douchebags.
They're definitely evil, Tristan. I mean, the fact that you would even go and spend time with them and need to come to find that after a month.
I didn't spend time with them originally because I thought it was a good thing. I spent time with them because they kidnapped me, and then I got upset with Shelly Ann.
What's that syndrome called where you start to sympathize with your kidnapper?
Stockholm.
I think you've got it, brother.
I don't got it anymore. I'm here. And now I'm starting to sympathize with you.
You're starting to sympathize with me?
You're my captor. You're keeping me held captive.
Oh, that is completely different.
Can I make you some porridge?
No, Tristan, come on. Snap out of it.
DG, you're looking so good today.
Thanks, dude. No, he doesn't seem all that bad, dude.
Oh, God. Sister Corissa, what was your intention coming here?
We don't have any ill will except towards Sister No and Big Red. They only want or need each other, and Sister No, frankly, only wants immortality.
She wants what?
Immortality.
Why does she think she's gonna get that here?
Big Red is immortal. And, likely, so is Bertram. And if that is the case, why couldn't Sister know? That is all she wants from it now.
Wait, you telling me Bertram's immortal?
Well, I mean,
He's looked the same ever since I was a kid.
it kind of makes sense because, like they were saying on the prophecy, that was made in the year 11, and that was when Big Red got banished. And look, it's 2021. That was so long ago.
Yeah, dude. You're telling me Bertram's fucking 2,000 years old, dude. He should definitely be running this island. He knows a lot more than us.
Whoa. Now, let's not forget that he has mad goat disease. Now, just because we let him out of prison and put him under home arrest does not mean that he should be... Don't forget, he was a war criminal, too, and all of that.
Clark, we all know that he doesn't have mad goat disease. We know you were making it up.
Tristan, you do?
Yeah?
Well, listen, that's beside the point. The whole time, Bertram has been running Goat Island ever since I put the currency in effect, and then I took it back out of effect. Bertram has actually been running the country. I've just been coming down here and having meetings with him and doing what he says. So,
Why have you been keeping that to yourself, dude?
well, it's embarrassing. I mean, the council appointed me, and you guys, and you know, I don't know, he was sick, and I didn't know how... You know, once you start lying and you don't know how to get your way out of it?
Kind of like that fucking Todd Margaret.
Very, very obscure reference, but... but yes, just like Todd Margaret.
David Cross is hilarious. Everything he does, he's a Stitch.
I have to agree with you. Okay, Tristan, listen.
I'm sorry, Clark.
I'm sorry too, Tristan, and I'll let you out of prison because I trust you, but Sister Corissa has to stay.
No. You're letting her out, too.
Why do you want to keep me imprisoned?
Because I don't know you, sister. And as far as I know, you could be Sister No in disguise. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Tristan, like, I think letting you out is cool. I think letting that thing out is, like, not good. Not good.
Please let me out. I promise.
No, you let it out.
I want to make a positive influence.
What sort of positive influence could you make, Sister Corissa?
I know all of her weaknesses.
Whoa. So do I, Sister Corissa. And you think that I'm gonna let you out of that cell? There ain't no way.
Sister Marble, what are you doing here?
Whoa. I made a full-on conversion and I've been here running drills every day preparing for the day you and your fucking boss come here. This is the fucking lady who came up with the idea to kill your cats, Clark. You're gonna let this lady out of jail?
Hold on, Sister Corissa, you did what?
Whoa. That is not what happened. Well, it sort of is, but you were taking
That
it.
is exactly what happened, Corissa, and there's no way we're taking it out of context. I was there, and you told Sister No to go out and she was to make an ISIS video. We all know that means beheading. We all know that means a beheading. And what was the first thing she saw? Whoa. Clark and Beverly's dog and cat. Therefore, by the rules of principle and the logic of Twitter, Sister Corissa is canceled!
I have to agree. I think she should stay in prison.
Yeah, no, keep it in here. That's disgusting. Sister Corissa, you're horrible.
I understand, and I will do my time, if that is what it takes to prove to you that I am good.
I just don't like, if this thing right here is willing to kill a cat and a dog, I don't know how you feel about goats.
That's what I am saying. The whole time that once I found out Sister No was on the Goat Island, or Goat India and Big Red Penis Island, I am sure she's killing goats.
I'm sure of it too. I don't even have to tell you. I don't even have to know for a fact that she's killed hundreds of goats since she's been here. I know it.
Why do you think you know that, Sister Marble?
Whoa, because I know that lady's in her mind. I know her in her mind.
You're so cute, Sister Marble.
Oh, thank you, Tristan. Hey, I forgive you for putting me in that Tupperware container. We were on different sides, and now we're on the same side, I think, because, whoa, I think you can trust him, Brother Clark, okay?
Well, kind of know at the same time. I mean, you let Sister Marble in here. She's doing a thing. Why can't Sister Corissa join the other side?
That's a pretty good point.
She did kill you, Ken, you dog.
Tristan, why would you turn on me?
I didn't know you killed a cat in the... Well, it's not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal. I loved Cletus and Little Pisser.
Clark, did you have anybody who was set to watch them after you left?
Beverly said that her sister was supposed to come pick them up.
Have you ever met Beverly's sister?
Ooh, yeah, come to think of it, no.
So this woman who you never met was supposed to come and take care of your cat and your dog indefinitely. They would have died of starvation anyway.
Well, I didn't know we'd be gone forever. I kind of thought maybe at some point we would be able to sneak back and get them, but, yeah, I guess you're right.
You didn't think it through. I mean, you paid the consequences for what you didn't think through, and now Sister Corissa came in with an opportunity. When she was on the other side, she thought it was, she thought it would have been a good idea.
You're right. I'm kind of starting to change my tune.
Please let me out, Clark. I promise beyond all promises that it will be worth your time.
What do you say, DG?
I say we blow dart her and think about it.
That sounds like something Sister No would do.
It is exactly something she would do.
DG, I'm gonna let her out, and for the next 48 hours, I want you to watch her around the clock, okay?
You got it.
Is that okay for you, Sister Corissa?
That will suffice. Please take me to where the goats are, give me peanut butter, and let me smear it where the sun don't shine.
Oh!
What the hell is she talking about?
Ew! Sister Corissa, can you even feel?
No, but it will at least pleasure the goats, and I can think about it.
Okay, this lady is fucking weird.
They probably would like that. Maybe.
Whoa. She's fucking disgusting.
Hello and welcome to MOATAIF. Hello folks, we're back. And a few episodes ago, it was like months ago at this point, we talked about thalassophobia, the fear of deep bodies of water, and through that, I found some other shipwrecks and other disasters and that sort of thing to be interesting, which was something I've always kind of been interested in. In some of my vlog clips, there will be times where there's like a vlog clip I remember where I stand up and I start singing taps and I dedicate it to the people who died in the Challenger space shuttle explosion because I had just read all about it and I was like, dude, that was fucking tragic. And so this has always kind of been something like, I like to do is like go back and like read these like minute details of disasters and just kind of live them through that way. It's really weird. It's like a morbid thing to do, but it's really fascinating. And this one in particular that we're about to talk about really more than any spoke to me as a potential gravy because there's kind of a mystery to it.
Really?
Yeah, and so I made this presentation to kind of go through it, but I also I read a lot about it and watched some videos about it as well. So I'm hoping that it'll be an interesting little time, and maybe we'll be doing some other disasters in future episodes if this is something that's entertaining. But without further ado, by the way, check us out on YouTube to follow along with our presentation here. But if you're listening only, I'll keep it entertaining. We are going to be talking about the Uss Thresher Disaster, which was a big-ass submarine that has been lost to time. According to the U.S. Navy, it is on eternal watch because it was lost at sea. That's just they retire. It's kind of like when they retire a number of somebody in basketball, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna put this fucking nobody else can be number 20 because LeBron James was number 20. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Oh, or it's like that legendary, like nobody could take over that number.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, the USS Thresher is not out of commission or sunk. It's on eternal watch. So just a little something cute.
So it's not decommissioned after the disaster?
It is, of course. It's like, it technically is. Of course, it's like everybody is dead and it's at the bottom of the ocean, but it's like
It's on eternal watch, is what they call it. Kind of like
Jesus, it must have been like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Yeah, exactly like that, where it's just kind of this
They
like
honor
honorific. Yeah, exactly.
Lord, it must have been horrible.
Yeah, it was not good. No matter what ended up actually happening, yeah, it was definitely a tragedy. Here we go.
Ooh.
Here he comes. He is deep sea exploring in his little yellow submarine there, and he's coming to take a look at us.
I like that.
Getting real close. But don't worry. No, don't be alarmed. It's only me, uber successful film director James Cameron.
Shit.
He's still down here exploring the depths. Ever since I came down here and discovered the actual wreck of the literal Titanic, I have been a fucking slut for coming to the bottom of the ocean and just looking around. Have you ever heard of the USS Johnston?
No.
No, I haven't, James Cameron. Well, I mean, I guess I have, but just playing along. No, I haven't, James Cameron. Probably not. I never made a movie about it. James, you silly goose. Say, let's take a quick trip over to the Philippine Trench. Okay, James.
I love this.
Here we go. This is the Philippines Trench, or Mariana Trench. It is the deepest point of any ocean on Earth. I've spent so much time here daydreaming about Avatars 2 through 4.
Oh, God.
But I digress.
Get over yourself, James.
Right, I fucking
James
hate.
Cameron is hosting this.
He's so fucking egotistical. This trench holds a world of unknown magic and tragedy. Let's continue further down. There goes James. Scary, isn't it? We see the remains of a jagged shipwreck on the bottom of the ocean floor. This is the wreck of the USS Johnston.
I didn't know the submarine was a box.
Yeah, right. It looks really odd.
Is that really a submarine?
Oh yeah, that's a part of the hull of the USS Johnston. So it's unclear. I don't know what size that piece actually is or anything like that, or what we're actually looking at there. It's just part of the wreckage of the USS Johnston.
Okay.
Commissioned and launched in 1943 at the height of World War II, the USS Johnston was built as a warship armed with torpedoes and guns.
Also, the Johnston was a ship.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The Johnston was a ship. Yes. So this part, I'm getting confused here too. The part that we were looking at could have been one of any parts of this like side of the hull there, I guess. Yeah, because it was kind of more boxy like that. Armed with torpedoes and guns. You're goddamn right it was. Hi, I'm Commander Ernest E. Evans, the former captain of this vessel. I had fucking balls of absolute steel. Yeah, literally. In fact, I told my crew the day we were launching this boat, quote, "This is going to be a fighting vessel. I intend to go into harm's way, and anyone who doesn't want to go along better get off right now."
Lord. Was this for World War II?
It was.
Lord.
It was 1943, so he was ready to get in there and kill some people. This was like right as the U.S. was getting involved into the war. It was, and kind of starting to wind down too, but it was definitely the height of it. And go into harm's way, the USS Johnston did. The USS Johnston was sunk by the Japanese.
Damn.
During the battle off of Samar. The battle itself, it's not too interesting or exciting. It was World War II after all, and you just heard the captain say that he wanted to die, so it's not necessarily a tragedy in the same way like the Titanic is. It's like, well, they were in battle and they lost.
Might have been like a Lieutenant Dan situation, like my grandpa died in the Civil War.
Yeah, exactly.
My great grandpa died in the Revolutionary War. I will die in this war.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's like, we are going into harm's way, and they did.
They got a
Nice. They got a really good captain to lead that ship.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and in fact, after the battle off Samar, he was posthumously awarded with whatever. I don't think it was a Purple Heart, but it was, whatever other high military honor a civilian can receive. So he was honored after he died for his acts of bravery here in the battle off Samar, which included giving his life and sinking to the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Jesus.
What is of note, though, is the wreckage itself. Not necessarily that it sunk, like I'm saying. It's not like they just struck an iceberg. They were looking for battle, and they won many little battles, but they did not win the battle off Samar. The USS Johnston is officially the deepest discovered shipwreck. Of course, there are plenty of other ships that may have been crashed and may lie deeper in the ocean that have not been yet discovered. But the USS Johnston right now is the deepest shipwreck at a depth of 20,406 feet below the ocean's surface. Now, this wreck went undiscovered for 75 years. Now, obviously...
So they just found it in the 2000s?
Yes, they just found it this year.
What?
They just found it in 2021, yeah. Which is crazy to believe, yeah. They found it in 2019, but they just confirmed that it was the USS Johnston this year when they found more pieces that they could identify with signal, numbers or whatever, that they were like, okay, yeah, that's definitely the USS Johnston and not some, but it was technically discovered in 2019 on sonar. But even then, to go from 1943 to sink in 1943 and then not be found until 2019 and not be confirmed until 2021, that's crazy. I mean, it's just sitting down there for 75 years lost. They had no idea where it was.
I wonder if their body's still down there, like at least skeletons.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, because, there was that one diving story that we had talked about in the thalassophobia episode, where, they found a skeleton that had been, all the flesh had been eaten off of it, but it was, there very well could be. And, I mean, that's part of the thing with, a lot of these shipwrecks is people want to exhume them, or they want to go down and tour them, and people are like, well, that's not right, because it's a final resting place of, the crew of this ship. I mean, the USS Johnston went down with all hands, which I don't know how many people that was, because I didn't put it in the presentation, but it was hundreds of people that died when this ship went down. So definitely a tragedy. It's hard to believe, and it's just crazy to believe that the ocean is that deep that even though they knew where the battle was and where it sunk, they had no idea where it remained for 70 years. It was just, I don't know.
Good Lord.
It's crazy. But that's not enough drama for me, James Cameron. I need the drama, the intrigue. And that's when I discovered the USS Thresher. Because that's right, folks. This is about another shipwreck, which was a submarine, and
I imagine even deeper.
Well, it's not deeper because that one is the deepest confirmed, but this one is a little more of a tragedy in the sense that they didn't have to die. I mean, this submarine was also taking place in World War II, so of course, it's wartime. But they didn't have to die necessarily, and we'll get into that. So I think that's why it's more of a tragedy to go into, because, the Johnston, hey, what can you do?
Yeah.
That's the USS Thresher right there. As you can see, it is more of a traditional-looking submarine after the confusion earlier. But can you make any sense of this?
Looks like metal.
Yeah, that's all I can tell what it is. This is all that's left of the USS Thresher at the bottom of the ocean.
It just looks like a sheet of metal.
Yeah, right.
Destroyed metal.
Yeah, just absolute. It's this photo's from the 1960s, so it's really hard to tell what you're looking at. But yeah, all you can see is just destroyed, mangled metal, which should not be like that.
It looks like it would be like an album cover.
It does, it totally could be, because it's so abstract and dark. How did this was one of the days that it was being launched there, turn into this? This is another photo of you can see the shale deposits that are around the submarine, and this I guess I can't see my mouse, but where number 2 is labeled there is what appears to be like that thing in the other photo that protrudes out of the water. I don't know what you would call that, but I'll go back to it in a second here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That thing.
Oh, that makes sense. I see it.
Yeah, so it looks like that number 2, and it looks like number 5 looks like some sort of wheel, like maybe even like the ship's, not the ship's wheel, but like some sort of gauge. Yeah. It's crazy. It's hard to even tell what the scale of this image is. But yeah, this is all that's left of the USS Thresher at the bottom of the ocean.
What the fuck happened?
Well, it's...
You get a phone call?
Oh my god, how terribly embarrassing. Let me take this real quick. Hello? What is it, Stella? I'm kind of in the middle of... Sigourney wants how much for Avatar 3? Well, tell her the studio isn't sure 3 will be a success since 2 hasn't even come out. What do you mean she knows, I know, the studio knows it'll be a $1 billion feature again? Fuck. I knew it was stupid to announce all of the sequels and the projected budgets all at once. Listen, give me about 20 minutes. I gotta head up to shore.
He's got all the way up to shore?
Say, Zach, you said you knew a little bit about the Thresher disaster, right? Yeah, that's true. James, I did do a little research. Sweet. Do you think you could give the MOATAIF listeners the rest of the rundown? I've got to deal with that bitch Sigourney Weaver and her astronomical demands.
Damn, James.
Oh, yeah, I sure can. Thanks a bunch. I'll be back before you know it. Got a blast. Don't forget to ascend slowly. You can hurt yourself otherwise.
Fun fact.
You're right. Fun fact, borax can be used to make slime monsters. So the USS Thresher was named after the Thresher shark, which you might remember they briefly mentioned in Seaspiracy as one of the breeds of sharks that on their graph that they showed has depleted in population by 99% due to the fishing industry and the, yada, yada, yada. Watch Seaspiracy if you're interested in that. But the Thresher shark is one of the sharks that they mention is almost extinct because of that.
Good lord.
Yeah, exactly. And this ship... This submarine was the first in its class, and there was a whole line of Thresher class submarines that came out after this, but this was the only one that was actually named the USS Thresher. And it was a nuclear-powered attack submarine for the United States Navy, hence, of course, the USS. Now, it was created to find and destroy Soviet submarines, and it launched in 1961. So this is the Cold War, way after World War II. We're just fucking around, looking at, trying to stay ahead of the Soviets, preparing for any impending battles. And it was the quietest and fastest sub at the time of its debut there in 1961. Now, in 1962, the USS Thresher was taken in for routine maintenance. They, good to know they do that. And it didn't re-enter the water until April 8th, 1963. There were a lot of delays. It says that that's like just normal of the industry, that they come into things that they weren't expecting, or they have other shit. What the fuck? I mean, it took them about a year.
I'm sure it would take a while to work on a fucking submarine.
Yeah, exactly, and to make sure that it's safe for, this crew specifically was 129 people. So I mean, you definitely want to make sure that you're sending them out in a safe vessel.
Well, I imagine they weren't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to say because they didn't necessarily report that there was anything necessarily that was wrong when they went through this maintenance, but whatever happened, clearly there was something wrong with the ship that they didn't know about because the ship was cleared and re-entered the water on April 8th, 1963. So following the maintenance, Thresher left Maine to meet up with the submarine rescue ship Skylark. Now this was interesting. So these submarine drills would always be accompanied by a submarine rescue ship, which had some, I don't know if it actually had the capabilities to rescue them, but it was a ship that went with the submarine and was the person that was in contact with the submarine as it performed its dive testing, because at least at this time, submarines didn't operate by themselves, which I assume that, I mean, they operate by themselves, but it's kind of like the paramedics and the firefighters showing up together, but now these days I feel like the submarine doesn't necessarily need a submarine rescue ship.
Yeah.
So some 200 miles off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Thresher and Skylark begin conducting just routine dive testing with the submarine. Before they would go and actually go out and hunt more Soviet submarines, they need to make sure that it's even more so than what they did at the maintenance thing. Can we actually go down to these testing depths, and how deep can we go with this submarine before we destroy it? So let's, we'll see what we can do. So the first day they performed a quick dive test, which is the photo that we saw earlier where almost all of the entire submarine is submerged except for that top fin. And then it dove to 1,000 feet, which was half of the overall test depth. They were going to try to go a total of 2,000 feet deep. So it dove to 1,000 feet and then stayed there overnight. And there was nothing wrong that day, nothing that, seemed to be out of the ordinary. However, the next morning at 6:30 a.m. when they woke up or whatever, Thresher reestablished contact with Skylark and commenced their deep dive trials, which meant that they would dive in 100-foot increments and maintain and then reconnect with Skylark, be like, hey, well, we're 100 feet deeper and we're still alive. That's the idea of that, at least, and they would do that throughout the day until they hopefully made it down to 2,000 feet. So this is the official timeline of events. These are just screenshots from Wikipedia, but this is the official timeline of events that the government or the U.S. Navy has released for what happened to Thresher. So we'll go through that because this is part of what, I could have written all this out, but whatever. So at 8:09, Commander Harvey of the Thresher reports that we're about to be at half of the test depth, and at 8:25 a.m. they reach it. Thresher reaches 1,000 feet of test depth. They hang out there for a while, and at 9:02 it says Thresher is cruising at just a few knots. Now submarines normally move slowly and cautiously at great depths unless a sudden jam of the diving planes would send them below their test depth in a matter of seconds. And they noticed that the boat was descending in slow circles. So they announced to Skylark that they are going to, shape their course up, and they're going to try to fix, why are we spinning and descending in slow circles? And at this point, they notice that the transmission quality is starting to degrade. They say possibly as a result of thermocleans, which come up later, but it's, it's just a result of freezing. It's just freezing, essentially. At 9:09, the Navy's official investigation states that at this point, a pipe joint ruptured in the engine room out of nowhere. All of a sudden, a pipe just explodes in the engine room. Now, the crew would have instantly attempted to stop this leak, because you don't want water to be filling your fucking submarine, obviously. But at the same time, the engine room would be filling with a cloud of mist because it's different, the different pressures and the different temperatures and all that. So under those circumstances, they're saying that Commander Harvey's likely decision would have been to order full speed, full rise on the Fairwater planes and blowing the main ballast, which just is simply the emergency. They filling up as fast as they can and getting it to the top of the water without causing them any bends or anything like that.
Okay.
However, the pressurized air rapidly expanding in the pipes cools down, condensing moisture and depositing it on the temporary strainers, which basically means that it starts to freeze, and so none of the air that's supposed to escape to allow the submarine to suddenly ascend to the surface, none of that air could come out, so it was suddenly trapped. The moisture freezes, clogging the strainers and blocking the airflow, halting the effort to blow ballast. So there was nowhere for this pressure to go because the blowhole essentially is frozen shut now that it's leaking.
Good lord.
So water leaking from this broken pipe not only started to just fill the submarine, but it actually caused short circuits, which would lead to an automatic shutdown of the ship's nuclear reactor and therefore a loss of propulsion. So now the propellers are no longer running and they have no power. So the logical action at this point would have been for the commander, Harvey, to order that they move to a battery-powered backup system in order to try to get back to the surface and try to contain the flooding. So the engine room crew began to restart this reactor, which was an operation that would be expected to take at least 7 minutes. So all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, we just lost all of our power. We need to get the battery power running, but that takes 7 minutes. So there's 7 minutes of dead space where they have no idea what's about to happen to them, which is like the first point where it's like, shit, like this is fucking scary. Are we gonna get this thing turned? What the fuck is happening? That's
Why
fucking
does it take
scary.
7 minutes?
I don't even know. It's like that. You would think like an emergency thing like should be almost instant. Yeah, like that's scary. At 9:12, Skylark, the boat at the top, pages Thresher on their underwater phone, quote, Gertrude underwater telephone check, K, which means over. So Gertrude underwater telephone check, over. With no immediate response because Skylark has no idea. Skylark is unaware of what's going on at Thresher. I mean, they're 1,000 feet below and they're dealing with a leaking pipe and no power. I mean, they have no idea what's going on. But through all of that, the signal K, so over, is repeated twice at 9:12. It's almost like maybe somebody did hear the call, and I don't know. But so at that point, at 9:12 at least, there were still people down there responding. At 9:13, Harvey gets on the phone and reports the status via underwater telephone. The transmission is very garbled, but some words are recognizable. Quote, we are experiencing minor difficulties. Have positive up angle, attempting to blow, unquote. One hypothesis has the submarine growing heavier from water flooding the engine room and continuing its descent, probably tail first. So if the water's filling up at the bottom, and they're suddenly tilting, I guess that would explain the positive, or the, whatever he calls, a positive up angle. But it kind of almost makes it seem like maybe they thought they were getting out of the water.
But they were going up, yeah.
But they were definitely not. Another attempt to empty the ballast is performed. Again, it fails because of the formation of ice. So it still wasn't working. Obviously the ice hadn't melted yet. They're still in the same condition they were before, except they're sinking even faster now because the water from the pipe is still filling up the engine room. Now, at this point, officers on Skylark can hear the hiss of compressed air over the loudspeaker at this point, so confirming that there is some sort of leak or loud noise going on. At 9:14, Skylark acknowledges all of this information with Roger out and awaits further updates from the submarine. A follow-up message, they send and let them know there are no contacts in the area to let Thresher know that she can resurface quickly. There's no other boats in the area, so you don't have to worry about, hitting anything. Just, if you can, get the fuck up here. 9:15, Skylark reaches back out to Thresher about her intentions. They say, quote, my course 270 degrees, interrogative range and bearing from you, unquote. There is no response, and Skylark's captain, Lieutenant Commander Hecker, sends his own Gertrude underwater telephone message to the submarine, quote, are you in control? Unquote. I'm like getting goosebumps. That's so scary. Ominous. Yeah. It's really scary, yeah. At 9:16, Skylark picks up another garbled transmission from Thresher, transcribed in their log as, quote, 900N, unquote. The meaning of this message is unclear and was not discussed at the inquiry. It may have indicated the submarine's depth and course, or it may have referred to a Navy, quote, event number, unquote, 1000, indicating loss of submarine. with the N signifying a negative response to the query from Skylark, "Are you in control?" So, interesting theory there. Ultimately, nobody knows what the 900N means to this day. Like it says, there are multiple theories, and a couple of them are in this presentation. 917, a second transmission is received with the partially recognizable phrase, quote, "exceeding test depth," unquote. The hypothetical leak from the broken pipe grows with increased pressure. So at 917, they were sinking below 2,000 meters, or 2,000 feet, which was the test depth. So they realized they were sinking at that point. And at 918, Skylark detects a high-energy, low-frequency noise characteristic of an implosion.
Oh my god. This is all within a matter of like 20 minutes, too.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. 2 minutes later, at 9:20, after they hear the implosion, Skylark continues to page Thresher, repeatedly calling for a radio check, a smoke bomb, or some other indication of the boat's condition. At 11:04 a.m., Skylark attempts to transmit a message to the commander of Submarine's Atlantic Fleet, quote, "unable to communicate with Thresher since 9:17, have been calling by UQC voice," and all these other different things, "every minute. Explosive signals every 10 minutes with no success. Last transmission received was garbled, indicated Thresher was approaching test depth, conducting expanding search." Radio problems meant that they didn't receive or respond to the message until over an hour and 45 minutes later, at 12:45. Hecker initiated event submiss, which means lost of a submarine, procedures at 11:21, and continued to repeatedly hail Thresher until after 5 p.m. that day. They sat there all day trying to ring and see if they could get a hold of them, which is really sad.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Truly, when I read that, truly one of the saddest things to like go through and start to imagine, especially just from the perspective of the people in the submarine.
Yeah.
Who had at least probably, I mean, even though the implosion happened and they probably, you know, based on like just the way implosions are, the human nervous system probably didn't have any pain during the implosion, but they definitely knew that something was wrong, and I feel like the sense of fear would be palpable.
Oh my god, of course.
So here here's a GIF, definitely worth going to check out on the YouTube if you haven't been following the presentation. That kind of explains a little bit. I'll start playing it. It kind of explains a little bit about what happened with the ballast thing and how it froze up. So here's the water that starts leaking in the back of the thing there in the engine room, and how that starts pulling them off course. So when they start to try to blow out all this air and go back to the land, we'll see here in a minute, the air would go and start to fill the ballast tank, and then as soon as the first few gasps got out, it started to freeze the water that was coming into on the outside, you know, causing ice to form, and all of a sudden the valve is no longer useful. It's blocked with complete ice, and they're basically in a tomb.
Lord.
A floating, sinking tomb that they can't control because the nuclear react, and there it goes, sinking. Sinking, out of the frame. Pretty scary stuff, to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially because the thing that was put in place to keep them safe, the ballast system, did not work. I mean, that's scary. I mean, that's like finding out that like the emergency exits on an airplane don't work. I mean, or that the Titanic doesn't have enough lifeboats. You're like, well, how the fuck?
Yeah.
That's supposed to work. By mid-afternoon, more than 15 submarines and other rescue ships began combing the waters to find Thresher and potentially save her crew. But by 6:30 p.m., a call was made to the family of the crew, and Thresher was officially declared lost at sea with all hands on deck.
That's tragic.
Truly tragic. Especially because they were it was just a test dive, and they ended up diving to the bottom of the ocean and dying. The remains of the USS Thresher were not found until June of 1964, nearly 3 months after it sank. It was found by the boat Mizar. The hull had broken into 5 sections, And it rests currently 8,600 feet below sea level, which, for comparison, is 12,000 feet higher than the USS Johnston, which is just unbelievable to imagine how deep that is.
Good God.
A true tragedy.
Absolutely, dude.
An absolute out-and-out tragedy. Oh, James Cameron's back. Sorry for the delay, everybody. I got Sigourney taken care of. I trust that Zach filled you in on the terrible pipe disaster that led to Thresher's implosion. Tragic, isn't it? I certainly think so. Once I get Avatar 4 out, I'm gonna start working on a Thresher movie, and then...
Huh?
Excuse me? Who are you? I'm Bruce Rule.
Who?
I'm Bruce Rule. I was the U.S. Office of Naval Intelligence lead acoustic analyst for 42 years. And I'm here to say James Cameron is wrong. Uh-oh.
About what?
Some true drama here. This is an alternate theory that Robert, or whatever his name is, I already forgot, Mr. Rule, put out here. Now, his theory is based on a highly classified sound surveillance system known as SOSUS. This data wasn't even discussed in the congressional hearings or in the court of inquiry. It was that highly classified, but
wow.
it was this dude's job to analyze this information. And this is the theory that he came up with based on this sound surveillance. He's going to let me explain it because appearing in a presentation from the bottom of the ocean takes a lot of work. Rule concluded that the primary cause of the sinking was a failure of the electrical bus that powered the main coolant pumps. Now, at 9/11, after 2 minutes of electrical instability, the bus failed, causing the main coolant pumps to turn off. Now, this caused an immediate reactor scram, resulting in a loss of propulsion. So what all that means is, at 9/11, there was that electrical instability that they were talking about that they heard over the transmissions in Skylark. And after that, this guy believes, based on the sonar evidence, that then the electrics were cut out, the pumps turned off, which then caused the whole thing to overload and lose all power. That's what caused it, not leaking water, and that is what caused the loss of propulsion, which started them sinking. Now, with no propulsion and no way to deballast, because he agrees that the pipe was probably frozen, and that's why they couldn't get out of the water.
Oh, so he just kind of adds something on there.
Exactly. That Thresher began to sink. Now, his analysis holds that Thresher was intact until she imploded, meaning that flooding played no role in the reactor or the sinking, which would be completely contrary to the official story released by the Navy. And it doesn't seem like that's like such a big deal, but it is kind of, it is, you know, you're kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of creepy. But why do you think that, Rule? James Cameron asks. Well, firstly, there was no sound of flooding recorded in the SOSUS data. So like he said, he's like, it couldn't have been flooded because we don't have that evidence in the sound recording. But also, Skylark was able to maintain communication with Thresher, and no one reported hearing anything. No one said, there's, you know, like he says
here.
You
would hear that.
Yeah, if there was even a minor leak at test depth, which was 1,000 feet below sea level, remember, it would have been a loud roar. No way the Skylark boys wouldn't have been able to hear the guys in Thresher over that noise. They probably wouldn't have even been able. The men in Thresher probably wouldn't have even been able to hear the radio to begin with if it was that loud.
Huh.
Not only that, but when the commander of Thresher spoke to Skylark, he said they were having, quote, minor difficulties. Would you ever call a flooding submarine 1,000 plus feet underwater a, quote, minor difficulty?
No,
I guess I wouldn't. He says, I know I wouldn't. Hi, everybody. I'm Admiral Dean L. Axine, the original commander of the Thresher. Not the man who died commanding the Thresher, but the person who gave up his position, I guess, to the second commander.
I wonder if he's like Mark Wahlberg from like 9/11. Like if I would have been on that ship, I would have saved it.
Oh, I'm sure he believes that, because he's like, I would have never, I mean, that's probably how they all think. Like, it was a tragedy, but if I'd still been in charge of the Thresher, she'd still be here today in a museum, not at the bottom of the ocean, damn it.
Right.
I testified, this guy, Dean, literally testified to that when he appeared in the court of inquiry. They said, would you consider a leaking pipe at test depth a, quote, minor difficulty? And I said, quote, no, I would not. Thanks for the support, Admiral Axine. But what about the 900N transmission? How do you explain that, Mr. Rule? Ah, yes. I interpret the 900 from Thresher at 9:17 a.m. as a reference to test depth, signifying that they were 900 feet below test depth.
Oh.
That puts Thresher about 2,400 feet deep when she imploded, but don't worry, though. It was likely so fast the human nervous system couldn't perceive it. Truly so tragic. Huh?
Who the fuck is this?
There's a red one now? You guys are both wrong. Hi, I'm a Redditor.
Oh my god, this is how they fucking are too.
Mr. Rule, your Freedom of Information request released like a ton of documents, dude, in 2021. Zach? Thank you, Redditor. That's my cue to read the next slide if it ever loads. The Seawolf Papers. Now, the USS Seawolf was one of the many vessels that responded and attempted to rescue Thresher on that fateful day in 1964. But its findings were kept classified until this year, 2021, when, as a part of the Freedom of Information request that Mr. Rule had put in, over 600 documents related to the Thresher disaster have been released and uncertified by the CIA and all those organizations. Have unredacted and unclassified all of this information. So as recently as 2021, this is the newest information we have about the Thresher disaster, and it really does paint it in a much more tragic light, if you can believe that.
Lord.
So the Seawolf arrives over here, and at 10:30 a.m. on April 11th, the Seawolf submarine begins diving in the area where Thresher was last noted. Over an hour later, their sonar discovered a stationary object 2,000 yards below. Seawolf closed in on the target but lost contact when another ship passed overhead. At 12:11 p.m., Seawolf heard via a RICOM receiver a signal from a distress beacon or pinger known as the BQC. Now, this beacon, which is fitted on every submarine, needs to be activated manually to broadcast a signal. And at 12:11, they hear this beacon, this distress signal, which can only be activated manually. Now, Seawolf used their UQC underwater telephone and requested that, because at this point they're assuming, hey, we found it, we're in the area, we're looking for this thing. There's a stationary object 2,000 feet down there, and we just heard the distress signal. Yeah, 2,000 yards. So they requested that, at this point, they assume this is Thresher. So they request that Thresher turn their beacon on and off. And a few minutes later, Seawolf reports, quote, "We hear what may be interrupted keying now," which suggests that somebody responded and was turning on and off this distress signal at the bottom of the ocean. Seawolf broke contact with the potential Thresher to resurface and report this new information. Now, the systems, as a submarine, there was nothing they could do to save them. They could only really locate them if they were alive. So they have no way of contacting the boat back on land, because there's all these different fucking boats flying around. So they have to go back up, and they lose contact with what might be Thresher. But they dive back down and initiate this new communication with this potential Thresher. They say, quote, "If you hear my transmission, key your underwater telephone," which would be a different signal than this beacon. And at 1:55 p.m., Seawolf reported that it received, via the underwater telephone, the emergency beacon tone 3 times. 5 minutes later, another 2 tones were heard. At this point, Seawolf believed there were people alive on Thresher. Without a doubt, they believed that people were down there. I mean, they're responding. I mean, why wouldn't they believe that?
I would believe it.
At 2:15 p.m., the crew of the Seawolf reports that they are hearing the sonar from the Thresher. That from the bottom of the ocean, they can hear their sonar pinging out. And if that's true, this would indicate that there were not only survivors, but also enough power reserves on board to transmit the signal. Because I guess you have to have electricity to transmit a signal, of course.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty contradictory to just imploding and sinking to the bottom of the ocean. At 2:24 p.m., the report notes that the sonar on the Thresher stopped transmitting, likely after the battery became exhausted. But in total, the Seawolf heard no fewer than 37 pings from the sonar of what it identified as the stricken submarine. It received 37 responses to their questions. You know, tell me if you're alive. It's like if they were doing a ghost hunt, they would have the most evidence ever.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like,
So really just what this shows is that it didn't implode.
right, that essentially they sunk to the bottom of the ocean and died there, survived and died there, most likely, as you're suggesting. This is an actual a page from the document. It says, to Thresher, quote, "We hear your underwater telephone. If you will send 5 dashes, we will have positive identification. Send 5 dashes. Send 5 dashes. Frequency shifts between the two BQCs are now quite evident. Turn to 230 degrees. To Thresher, continue keying your underwater telephone. Turn to 240 degrees. Present bearing and hearing the tone. They keep hearing the signals. Both frequencies are from the same place. They say, send Victors, send letter V, send letter V. They want to keep clarifying that these are people. And there it says there at the bottom, total of 37 pings heard and counted on the RICOM. It's not like it's 1 or 2. You know what I mean? That's
They were
37. Alive. Yeah, these people were alive. It seems, and that makes it even more tragic.
Oh my god.
Now at 2:33 p.m., the Seawolf reports that it, quote, may hear a very weak voice, unquote, over the RICOM receiver, but that the communications were too garbled to make sense of. It kind of reminds me of like in 47 meters down, where the girls are trapped in the shark cage at the bottom of the ocean, and they keep trying to, and you hear on the boat the transmission that they get from the radio, and it's literally like, you know what I mean? So I believe it. The communications were too garbled to make sense of. Now, if at 2:33 p.m., like 3 days later, this person is still down there talking, like, that's desperate. That's really sad to think about.
Yeah.
On their third dive, the sonar operators aboard Seawolf reported that they began to hear, quote, the telltale banging of metal upon metal, unquote, suggesting that someone aboard the Thresher was trying to make contact by literally banging on the side of the boat, possibly as hard as they could with a piece of metal.
So they heard that through sonar?
Yeah.
Wow.
They could hear them, potentially, if that is what it is, they could hear them banging metal against the side of the hull of the Thresher, trying in any way to make contact. Because at this point, all of their batteries gone. They have no communication. They can't get a hold of anybody. I mean, that's it. That's the only, if they're gonna have any chance of living, it's gonna be banging on the side of this thing. And I mean, I just can't even imagine that.
Why would they do all this testing near the Mariana Trench?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't, yeah, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you need to, why go to the place where you're going to sink and be, like, completely inaccessible to ever get to? Bang 5 times on the hull was the request of the Seawolf after they heard them banging on the hull. They didn't hear 5 bangs, but they started to hear it in groups of 3. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. It's hard to say, who can know. It says that the Seawolf successfully made active sonar contact again, meaning they saw it down there again, finally. And they heard 3 more raps on the hull at 8:30 p.m. Yeah, so it's hours and hours and days later at this point. And they're still banging without any way of really knowing that they're being heard, and they're still down there banging on the hull of the ship. Truly terrible. Really sad. Unfortunately, on the Seawolf's fourth and final dive, they reported no beacons, no pings, no banging or voices. And on top of that, Seawolf could not reestablish active sonar contact, and at 5:55 a.m., the dive was called off.
Good God.
Pretty tragic, to say the least. The Redditor says, freaky, huh? James Cameron says, really freaky. Mr. Rule says, I've heard about all of this nonsense I can take. On July 15th, 2021, shortly after these documents came out, Bruce Rule, had this to say, and this is a direct quote from Bruce Rule, who testified in 1963 and is still around to talk about this. Quote, the Seawolf report the presenter is reading from is correct, but the final report certified it was false readings. Seawolf was confused by active sonar and noise created by the other destroyers and the diesel submarine Sea Owl, who were searching for Thresher that same day. She, meaning Seawolf, mistook all sounds from the searching ships as banging on the hull and sonar pings from Thresher. It was a mistake. Frankly, I'm done here. This is all hogwash. Keep the dumb theories on our thalassophobia, you fucking dweeb. And there goes Bruce Rule back to the surface.
Damn.
The Redditor says, that hurt my feelings. I have to go post on our safe space.
I love that the Redditor is red, too.
Yeah, right. And he ascends to the surface, which leaves us with James Cameron, who simply says, well, what do you guys think happened to the USS Thresher? I have honestly no clue, but I do know that my movie adaptation will be expensive and cool as fuck. And that is
Jesus.
the USS Thresher Disaster.
We definitely got to do more like this because that was intense.
That was really intense, and there they are on eternal watch as they float by at the end of the presentation.
That's crazy.
It is really crazy. Now, when I read that, I was just as enthralled as I think you were listening to it, because it's stunning to think of. You know, you think about these disasters, and you're like, oh yeah, like that ship sank. Like you don't even think about
It just being
the
a horrible
minute detail like
experience,
that.
yeah.
And it's like sometimes you do have to see it as a movie to really like put yourself in that situation, and I think that's why I like these really specific disaster, minute like just reading about it, because I'm like, I can really picture that, the disaster scene of the movie. You always get all the information like, oh yeah, like this was the people on board and this is what happened and this is where they found it, but you don't really think about
Kind of like hearing black box recordings too from airplanes that go down.
Yep.
Just as scary.
It's scary. It's so intimidating, and it's freaky, and it's a reminder that at like any time you could die in a freak accident. I mean, I don't think the men of the Thresher, all 129 men died that day, which is sad to say. Obviously, pour one out for the fallen. Rest in peace to them.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because it's hard to say, and so a lot of people are like, well, I watched this one like 45-minute video about this guy like reading all of I read all 600 pages so you don't have to. And he kind of went over this whole thing and went through the whole scenario. And it was interesting. He was definitely a Reddit bro, a Redditor.
Was he?
But he can't, yeah. And he came out and he was like, why would they lie to us? I'm pissed. Why would the Navy lie to us? And, I'm kind of thinking, you seen The Martian?
Yeah.
There's that scene where they're talking about, they're like, well, we're going to obviously try to save Matt Damon because he's stuck on the moon, but I think we also need to release a statement just in case we find out that we can't save Matt Damon on the moon. And so they start they're like, just say like, oh, they mention it in the movie. They read part of it and it says something like Mother Earth sent one of theirs to Mars and now we have to leave him there. Like he's a hero, like something like that. And so in the same way, it's kind of like, was the Navy, maybe the Seawolf was contacting Thresher. Maybe they really were down there banging on the side of the hull. Maybe the
It could have just
Navy.
been something they didn't want the families to know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't you rather think that they died instantly, suffered no pain, they weren't afraid, than to think that 129 men potentially starved to death, maybe had, like, mutinies down at the bottom of the ocean, like, fighting? You know, who knows what the fuck happened at the bottom of the ocean for X amount of days that they lived down there, if they did. It's dark stuff.
Yeah.
It's dark stuff.
Holy
to
shit.
say the least.
I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while.
I know, and that's part of what, like, I get like lost in them, and I start thinking about it, and yeah, it does kind of change you. Once you learn about it, you're like, wow, that's like really tragic, and you know, you're like, sometimes it's a little depressing. There's no doubt, especially talking about this much morbidity and death, you know. But what can you do? What can you do? I mean,
life.
Accidents happen, tragic things happen, but the ocean's scary, folks. If you're going to be a submarine person, you know, just think about the fact that the ocean is a cruel mistress. And, you know, I got to say, in this same vein, if you're thinking, hey, I'd like to see a movie that's about a sea disaster, I do recommend The Perfect Storm. It's on HBO Max right now. It's from 2000, but really good, and it's about a shipping fishing boat that also encounters a terrible struggle. Very good movie, folks. But until next time, until we do this next, we'll definitely pick up another disaster. There's a lot of disasters to go over, and it definitely seemed like it made a good gravy. So until then, folks, hang in there. Try not to get killed in a submarine accident, and until next time, stay moot.
Confirmed, no butterfly wings.